This is Campus News, reporting the top stories from colleges and universities.
Next on Campus News.
A more than 2-week-long outage at MSUM, how students adjusted, and why we are just finding out its cause.
One NDSU fraternity was freezing for a reason. See why these NDSU students are withstanding the weather.
NDSU held its Jazz Festival for the 41st time. Hear how teachers and professors are continuing to share their love of music.
A longtime Dragons basketball coach reacts to a milestone victory. Good morning and welcome to Campus News. I'm Alex Sapp.
And I'm Chris Hovden.
MSUM students are still recovering from the impact of a widespread outage of the university's network.
Well, it appears most of the problems have been solved. Some students I talked to were upset they weren't told more sooner.
In the CMU, it almost looked like a snow day. But outside, it's because the Wi-Fi was widely unavailable for over 2 weeks.
It's frustrating to not be able to get our work done.
The university says this network outage was due to a ransomware attack.
So on February 1st, our IT folks noticed that there were some servers in our server room that were not performing as expected. So they went to check it out and realized that there was some sort of an attack on our network.
No ransom was paid in accordance with MSUM and Minnesota State's policies. The university implemented their incident response plan, taking the network completely offline.
Being a graphic design major, most of my work is online. Like, I do a lot of work on my computer, and without internet, I can't really work on those things.
On top of these deadlines, many students still had assignments due, but they couldn't get to them on campus. Instead, they come to spots like this coffee shop in Moorhead.
The last week has been packed. People will come in, can't find a place to sit. We run out of pastries right away. Everybody typically stays here for anywhere from 2 hours to we've had people stay here for 6 hours.
IT released daily updates, calling the issue a significant network outage. They also stated that they've hired a third-party partner to investigate the outage. The partner advised MSUM to not share information early on into the investigation to prevent emboldening attackers and providing information that may not be true. Wired internet connection and other services were functional after a few days, but Wi-Fi remained widely unavailable for more than 2 weeks.
So recovery takes a lot of bandwidth, and so the bandwidth taken to restore services is competing with that Wi-Fi traffic. I know it's been disruptive, but I think one of the things, in challenging situations like this, you find out what you're made of, and Dragons are definitely made of grit and heart.
Campus officials say policies will be reevaluated to prevent this happening in the future. Chris Hovden, Campus News.
Some of these new policies include a new, more secure authentication process. No other colleges or universities in the MSU system were impacted. From handing out tests to handing out cash, the New York Attorney General says test developer College Board sold students' personal data and will pay $750,000. College Board runs the SAT and AP exams. The company sold students' GPA, anticipated major, and household income data to more than 1,000 institutions. Along with the fine, the board will also be prohibited from making money off future students' information. The Parent Coalition for Student Privacy originally filed a petition in 2021 accusing College Board of violating student rights.
Utah is now the 9th state to create a new law targeting diversity, equity, and inclusion programs on college campuses. These bills have boomed in the past year. They ban diversity-based training, hiring, and inclusion programs. 6 states have passed anti-DEI bills, and they are currently being proposed in 15 additional states. This includes North Dakota, where lawmakers passed a bill in 2023 banning colleges from asking students or employees about their opinion on DEI. A congressional committee has issued unprecedented subpoenas to Harvard University. The House Education and Workforce Committee is compelling the Ivy League school to turn over documents as it investigates alleged anti-Semitism on its campus. It's the first time the committee has ever issued subpoenas since the panel was founded in 1867. Republican Chairwoman Virginia Foxx says she hopes it'll serve as a wake-up call to the Harvard University. The university has already turned over some of the documents, but Foxx says they contained, quote, omissions and questionable redactions. Harvard says the subpoenas were unwarranted, but it's committed to cooperating with the committee.
North Dakota Health and Human Services is warning Grand Forks locals about a possible exposure to hepatitis A. It comes after a worker at the UND Memorial Union Chick-fil-A was diagnosed with a confirmed case of the liver disease. Symptoms can take up to 50 days to develop and include fever, nausea, and jaundice, along with a long list of others. They're advising anyone who may have been exposed to get a vaccination. Information about exposure dates is available on the North Dakota Health and Human Services website. No additional cases have been identified at this time. The legalization of recreational cannabis last August has created new career opportunities. M-State saw that need and launched an online cannabis education program. It includes 3 different certificates: cannabis cultivation, cannabis retail, and cannabis extraction and product development.
Knowing that the cannabis industry is, if you will, exploding, you don't have to be a medium to see that the proliferation of dispensaries and interest in cannabis has grown significantly. So given that as pretext, we thought it was worthwhile to pursue offering the 3 different certificates.
The classes are taught through a California-based company, Greenflower, and after only a few weeks, the program already has 11 students enrolled.
Many in college look to scholarships and grant awards to help pay for school. However, one NDSU senior is receiving an out-of-this-world honor. Engineering student Jake Sundberg has spent his college career studying advanced composite materials. In recognition, he's one of 68 students nationwide to receive the 2023 Astronaut Scholarship. This prestigious award comes from the Astronaut Scholarship Foundation, which was founded by former astronauts. The scholarship was presented to Sundberg by retired astronaut Joe Tanner, who flew on 4 shuttle missions, spending over 1,000 hours in space. Now that Sundberg's hard work is being recognized, he said it still feels a bit unreal.
I got to tell my freshman self that I got this scholarship. My freshman self would have called me a liar.
After Sundberg graduates from NDSU, he says he plans to continue his research and work towards a master's degree. It's been an unusually warm winter for the region, making a yearly outdoor fundraiser look a bit different.
Reporter Coleman Rader talked to some NDSU students about how warmer weather affected the annual Freeze-a-thon.
Each year, students at NDSU stand out in the cold all day for an entire week, getting honks from each passing car. Everyone involved coordinates with each other to make sure they are always there despite the weather.
So we all kind of like take shifts and we just pick our hours, what we want to do, and we just make sure that somebody's out here at all times just trying to donate.
The Alpha Tau Omega fraternity at NDSU hosts a fundraiser event for Down Home called the Freeze-a-thon.
Down Home is an organization that helps single mothers emerging from homelessness. They help them furnish their homes. So they can take them through a little bit of a program, kind of get them back on their feet, to make sure that they don't fall back into that homelessness. And so furnishing their homes is a huge thing that helps with that.
Each passing car shares their support for the students braving the cold, but this year, the cold is a little bit warmer.
So normally in the past, we are only able to do about like half-hour shifts. That's what I've heard, at least, just for how cold it is. But this year, we were able to have people be out here for 4 or 5 hour shifts.
Money is important to the students, but the interactions they get with everyone are priceless.
I've seen so many smiles throughout the week, and it just warms my heart. It really does.
With photographer Hunter Schwartz, Coleman Rader, Campus News.
Due to the warmer than usual weather, students did an ice bucket challenge for every $100 donation. Finding a career after graduation can be difficult for many. Little experience, high competition, and limited connections are some of the roadblocks a graduate may face. An event at NDSU hopes of easing the process. Its annual Spring Career Expo aims to provide an opportunity for local college students to meet and make connections with business owners. The event hosted representatives from both local and national businesses. They were stationed in booths where students could walk up and talk or share their resumes. The expo focused on career paths for students graduating with architecture, engineering, and agriculture-related degrees. Jeff Dockendorf of Dakota Growers Pasta Company says they are looking for applicants who have more than just technical skills.
We really like people with good people skills, so are you a good conversationalist? Are you easy to work with? Just a little bit of a character about yourself is always nice.
Dockendorf says the career expos like NDSU's can provide a more authentic feel of a potential employee than a typical interview.
And NDSU isn't the only school in the region hosting a career fair. Students at Valley City State University will be interacting with the local businesses at a career expo. Students can offer their resumes to employers and even have professional headshots taken. VCSU Career Services says the event is a great way for students to connect with the business community. Their Career Expo will run February 27th from 11 a.m. to 1 p.m. in the Memorial Student Union. Not one, but two St. Cloud State University graduates won big on the Wheel of Fortune. Ashley and Chris Walker are 2008 SCSU Mass Communications graduates. They had a chance to compete on a special Valentine's Day episode called Sweethearts Week. The couple, who now lives in Grand Rapids, Minnesota, won nearly $70,000. The Walkers say being on the show was a surreal experience, and it makes their 10-year anniversary together worthwhile.
Over 300 high schools in the tri-state area come together every year for the art fair. Students use these fairs to showcase their work. This year, MSUM hosted the annual Art Affair. Students display their work in many galleries for professors to judge and critique. This one was a little more important because it marks the 10-year anniversary of the event. An award show is hosted for students who presented their work. Judging is based on creativity and presentation. Professor Bradley Bachmeyer knows the students cherish the opportunity to have their work displayed and to potentially be awarded for it.
For students to be able to see their work professionally lit in a professional gallery, you can really see how much it means to them. And then when they get called up on stage where they might receive an award, to see them get recognized and for their teachers to get recognized for the work they do, I think that's really powerful.
Bachmeyer says that the students have excelled tremendously in the 10 years that he's been a part of the event. Tonight, NDSU is presenting an award-winning musical. The dark comedy Company follows a 35-year-old bachelor who struggles watching his friends in relationships. The musical features some of Stephen Sondheim's most famous songs, including Getting Married Today and Being Alive. Tickets are available online and at the door. The show runs tonight at 7:30 and tomorrow at 2 at the NDSU Festival Concert Hall. NDSU's music department is also working to inspire the next generation of jazz musicians.
Reporter Drew Berg met with those at NDSU's Jazz Festival to learn about the importance of passing on the love of music.
Walking into NDSU's 41st annual Jazz Festival, those attending are greeted with the sounds of students practicing their instruments.
Jazz is great American music. It's one of the most, it's probably the only uniquely American music that we have.
Dr. Matthew Patnode is one of many teachers and professionals working the Jazz Festival in hopes of helping middle and high school students grow in their love of music. Patnode has been the director of the festival for the past 5 years, but he's worked the event for each of the last 25.
Each year it's a little better. I enjoy it a little more every year.
Adam Meckler is a trumpet artist and associate professor at Michigan Tech University, and he served as one of the clinicians this year. Meckler is an experienced clinician who loves sharing his passion for music with students all across the nation.
I love teaching. I have to balance it with playing, with performing, because performing is really where my heart is. And as long as I'm feeding myself as an artist and as a performer, then I feel really generous as a teacher, and I like to get people excited about music the way I am.
Regardless of the students' future plans, both Patnode and Meckler shared some advice for students who are questioning their futures in music.
There's no reason why you can't go on and continue to play even if you don't major in it in college.
Think about the fun you've had in band or choir, the friends you've made, the investment in time you've put into it, and maybe your parents have put into it with buying you a horn, maybe getting lessons. You should continue playing. Don't quit on music. Just keep doing it.
With photographer Katie Bartnick, Drew Berg, Campus News.
The NDSU Jazz Festival has been held annually since 1981. After nearly a decade, UND will be bringing back its music therapy program. The program first shut down in 2015 when they stopped accepting students for the program. The college let those still enrolled in the major finish their degree. But now, thanks to increased demand for music therapists, the major will be reopening. Students can start applying for the program in August, and classes start in 2025. MSUM's Langseth Hall recently held its annual Science Olympiad, an event that challenges high schoolers to put their knowledge to the test.
Reporter Nate Cohen tells us what it meant to get these students on campus.
High school students from Northwest Minnesota flocked to MSUM for the university's annual Science Olympiad competition, bringing with them self-propelled cars, ping-pong ball cannons, and wooden towers. The high schools compete against one another in a series of events. Moorhead High School's coach Wyatt Pugh says competition is not something all Science Olympiad members are familiar with.
Typical students in Science Olympiad aren't students that are in other sports and activities. It gives them an area to have that same level of competition and feeling like they're doing something, but something they excel at more.
The event helps students experience what science is like on a college campus, making them more familiar with what MSUM has to offer.
It provides a lot of great exposure to these students about our science programs, our science facilities. These students visiting our campus get to interact with some of our students in the sciences. They interact with some of our faculty, and they also get to interact with other students, their peers, in a setting that's not their regular high school.
Having a competition at MSUM is an experience for the students unlike other Science Olympiad competitions.
It probably is, more meaningful of a competition for them being at a university. It feels like fancier to some extent than just having a competition at another high school. So it is pretty neat that we're able to have it here at MSUM.
It's an experience MSUM is happy to supply.
It's fun to be able to provide that opportunity.
With photographer Alex Sapp, Nate Cohn, Campus News.
Holly High School took first place at the competition, joining a list of winners that dates back decades. And now we throw it over to Josh Boyko for a look at this week's sports.
And Josh, I hear one Dragons coach just got an important win.
Important win indeed. While many college coaches view 400 wins as a huge milestone, MSU Moorhead women's basketball coach Carla Nelson views it as just another win. Carla reflected on her 400th win with reporter Jacob Anderson.
Longtime MSU Moorhead women's basketball coach, Carla Nelson, says her recent 400th win as a head coach is a lot more than just a coaching accomplishment.
400 really, it speaks volumes of the players, the coaches that work with me, and administration and their support.
The head coach of 24 years says she continues to look for more than just wins for the Dragons.
But for a coach, I think that you're solely concerned about the task at hand, which would be that game or the game at hand. I didn't go into coaching, focused on, milestones.
MSUM forward Olivia Skibble is a transfer student from NDSU. Olivia and her teammates have embraced the culture Coach Nelson brings to the table.
We want to play for a coach that wants to win and wants the best for us. And so I think you really see that with us players on the court.
Coach Nelson's players have learned to follow the Nelson mentality when it comes to the game of basketball. This season, the team has been able to open up Nelson's humorous side.
I think we kind of have gotten under her skin a little bit and gotten her to loosen up.
Well, I certainly love being around them. They're a great group, a lot of fun, and they egg an old person on enough. Eventually you're going to break out the gritty, or they don't think you can do those things, and they don't realize that when I'm around my friends, probably do a lot of that stuff.
That's been the biggest thing, is she's so passionate about what she does, and I think that has definitely trickled down to us players.
With photographer Bella Turnus, Jacob Anderson, Campus News.
The Dragons will face Southwest Minnesota State University this afternoon at 3:30. Arguably the best college women's basketball player has utterly destroyed the NCAA all-time points scored record. Iowa's Caitlin Clark is on fire this year. It started in December when the senior set the all-time assist record for Big Ten schools with 10 assists in a game. Recently, she set the all-time points scored record with 3,569 points. It came during a game against the University of Michigan. Clark ended the night with a career-high 49 points, shooting 16 for 31, as well as 8 free throws.
I don't know if you can really script it any better, and I thought we played really well tonight, and thought our defense could have been a little better, but just to do it in this fashion, I'm very grateful.
Last year, the Iowa native won the Naismith Trophy for the most outstanding player in women's basketball. Setting NCAA records is becoming a trend this year. Francis Marion University's Lauren Taylor got 44 rebounds in their game against North Greenville. The 5'11" senior beat the previous record by 4 rebounds. It also more than doubled the center's previous season high 21 rebounds. Taylor's 34 points in the game was also a career high and marked her 18th double-double of the season. Concordia men's tennis has hit the courts for their spring season. They started the month off with a shutout against Crown College and now make their way through more conference matches. Reporter Caitlin Zeiger went to see how the young team is looking.
The Coppers are back in full swing with men's tennis. They have a fresh start with a new lineup and a roster with 6 freshmen, 4 sophomores, and 1 senior.
Brought in 6 guys this last year, so being able to have those 6 guys, all mostly from North Dakota, Minnesota, and Iowa, were fantastic.
These guys are all part of the same team, but they can compete individually or as doubles.
You have a lot of control over what you can do in tennis, as it's predominantly more of an individual sport in itself, where you can have tennis teams, but how your match goes, you can influence a lot of what happens on the court.
So I enjoy the longer rallies of singles. I kind of get to play a chess match and kind of develop a point. Sometimes I feel doubles a little bit too quick. It's more serving and returning and poaching based. But I enjoy having a partner on the court too, so I think I enjoy both, but I'm kind of leaning singles right now.
Because tennis is such an individual sport, each player has different goals in mind as they make their way through each match.
And last season I was able to make the all MIAC singles teams, and so I hope to do that again, since it'd be nice to match what I did last year. And hopefully try and improve on doubles and try and make the all MIAC doubles team also.
I was talking about recreating my tennis mindset. For a while I was really negative on the court and I didn't really realize that it was a lot of negative thoughts going through my head. So my goal for this year is honestly be more positive on the court.
Coach Young also said as a team the goal is for a conference championship. The last time the Coppers made it to a MIAC championship was in 2007.
I'm just really excited for this year. I think it's going to be really fun, and I find that, with the guys that we have the potential to be able to do a lot.
With photographer Jalen Wagner, Caitlin Zeiger, Campus News Sports.
Concordia takes on Bethel this afternoon at 3:30 p.m. The Concordia men's track team has had some young talent dominate during this indoor season. 2 first-year runners in the distance team are competing against Division I athletes in the 3,000-meter run and have a lot more in common than just their talent on the track. Reporter Jacob Anderson met with these athletes that might make you think you're seeing double.
Like most identical twins, these Concordia Cobber runners like the same stuff and follow each other wherever they go.
We were definitely planning to do college together, just more at home when we're both here.
Tyler and Brady Goss grew up in Devils Lake, North Dakota, and have been running since they were in high school.
Our coach in Devils Lake, Mr. Cavally, he was super nice. We got to a point our junior year where he said, we're going to start moving you up. You guys are probably running in college. And he started having us running a few more miles.
We just had a lot of great coaches and a lot of great teammates.
Distance coach Maddie Van Beek has been coaching the twins this season and is looking forward to the many years she has left with them.
I'm really excited to see how they progress throughout their time here. I mean, they've been all in from day one.
She pushes us really hard every day, make sure we get stuff done.
The twins have competed against Division I and Division II athletes this season and have shown immediate success.
Brady ran his first 3K at UND. I knew he was prepared to run competitively and really go after a fast time. He went out with the front right away, had no fear in going with the top guys. He was pumped about the way it turned out.
Another thing the twin brothers have, like most twins do, is their banter between each other.
We actually don't room together because it would probably start a lot of fights.
They're always giving each other heck. I mean, they aren't afraid to, kind of poke fun at each other.
The twins' college transition has been easy, having each other on their sides.
We made new friends here, obviously, and we got a lot of people that we hang out with, and there are some different people, but we still see each other a lot.
We're definitely closer, just being here together and going through the experience.
The twins are super encouraging towards each other, bringing their talent to the track ×2. With photographer Isabella Turnus, Jacob Anderson, Campus News Sports.
The Goss twins say Concordia is the perfect fit for them. They'll be competing at the NCAA Last Chance qualifier meet next Friday. And guys, it looks like a double dose of success to me.
They run so fast, I don't know how we tell the difference between them. Thanks, Josh.
Also at Concordia, A new group is marching to the beat of their own drums.
Reporter Coleman Rader tells us about the new sounds echoing throughout their campus.
This year, Concordia added a new drumline, and many people seem to enjoy and appreciate the energy the drumline brings, playing in places never played before at Concordia.
It was a lot of really high energy that we had. We had a couple people that were brand new, and afterwards we had a lot of people thanking us for coming out because no one had ever done anything for the hockey team like that before, had any ensembles come out for them to play. So it was just a really fun time in general, and it was also good to know that we were appreciated for being there.
Members of the drumline are inviting new students to join the line as well. Even if Concordia students aren't experienced with instruments, drumline student director Sam Deneen emphasizes that all they need to do is show up and start playing.
You can have absolutely no experience, but we'll put a pair of drumsticks in your hand and say play 8 notes with this hand and 8 notes with this one, and have fun with it.
Concordia freshman Ephraim Cooper enjoys every minute of his time working with the drumline.
Where we started our Cobbers chant is C-O-B-B-E-R-S. And then that gets us all hyped, and we do that 4 times. And I've never done that at a game before, so that was a blast. I had so much fun doing that.
A brand new drumline means a brand new leader. Overall, a new beat creates an atmosphere that students can connect to more than ever before.
Sport, music, and social entertaining. How you can be in a game and you are, entertaining, you are listening to music. So the environment is amazing because you could have a lot of things going on just in one place.
With photographer Hunter Schwartz, Coleman Rader, Campus News.
Just 2 of the drumline's 10 percussionists are music majors. And that's it for this edition of Campus News.
We leave you with more sounds of the Concordia drumline.
Thanks for joining us, and have a great week.
Campus News is produced by the Television News Workshop in the School of Communication and Journalism at Minnesota State University Moorhead, in cooperation with Prairie Public Television.
Nice. Feel good on that?